Warning, incoming hostiles.
Hello and welcome to Ware Gaming Weekly. What's up and welcome to Ware Gaming News. My name is Nick and that's my brother Josh. Say hi, Josh.
Hi, Josh.
We have a lot to unpack. There's a lot of news this week. It's July 4th weekend, and we're just going to get right into it. There's a lot of this news might cover some stuff that happened more than a week ago because we're a little later this week because we're here.
Right.
We're in person.
Probably. That's probably the biggest news.
Yeah.
Is that this is actually an in-person Ware Gaming News.
Yeah, so please be excited.
Yes.
Great. We're going to start off with some Xbox Series X rumors. We're just going to go right into it.
Yep.
So was rumored on Twitter, I believe this was from Nibelian on Twitter. There's a leak, rumors that Xbox Series X event's coming out in July. We know that it's going to be there, but this is a breakdown of what they think might happen. So, I'm just going to read off this list. You can find it on Twitter. It's up there, but I'm also going to read it right here because it's right in front of me. So the Xbox Series X event details include Hellblade Senua's Saga. Senua's Saga Hellblade 2 story trailer will be there. Forza Motorsport 8 announcement trailer. Series X console exclusive. Native 4K 120 frames per second, ray tracing included.
Nice.
Fable reboot announcement trailer. Photorealistic graphics, 4K 60 frames per second. Very big world to discover. Halo Infinite story trailer plus multiplayer gameplay. The Outer Worlds DLC trailer. Grounded release trailer. Wasteland 3 release trailer. Gears Tactics release date announced plus trailer. Compulsion Games makes Contrast 2 announcement trailer.
Interesting.
Noir puzzle-based horror game. It's going to show the solid-state drive and gameplay coming in 2022. Perfect Dark reboot announcement trailer. Looks like Splinter Cell. Double Fine Iron Brigade 2 announcement. Live service PvP game.
Oh, no.
Minecraft Dungeons Jungle Awakens release trailer plus new DLC announcement. Everwild gameplay trailer. Battletoads trailer. It'll look much different than in the previous trailers. Probably it has two graphic options, cartoon style and original. Tell Me Why story trailer. The Backstreet Boys song. I don't know. The medium.
I want it that way.
Yeah. The medium gameplay. The game is called Medium. First party games on Xbox One. Sorry. First party games from Xbox One on Series X. Sea of Thieves, Gears 5, Minecraft, The Outer Worlds, Microsoft Flight Simulator, Forza Horizon 4, The Astronauts backwards compatibility trailer. Oh, that's what I'm sorry. I'm reading it for the first time. Sort of. There's a backwards compatibility trailer that will include all of those games I just mentioned. It will show how old games can look on the Series X. The Astronauts, a new member of Xbox Game Studios from Poland. Witchfire 4K trailer, cross-gen game. New Japanese studio formed, Lost Odyssey remake announcement. Crossfire X story CGI trailer. Control on Series X gameplay, and Crysis Remastered Series X gameplay. So what this is a breakdown of how the event's going to go. This must be the notes of what's happening.
And then you said this is from Nibel?
I believe so.
Because some of this I would find very surprising, like...
such as
Double Fine making a live service PvP game.
Yeah, that's a little strange to me.
That's strange considering they're still trying to put out, was it a Psychonauts game?
Yeah.
That has been announced, and we're waiting for it to come out, so it would be weird for them to announce another game without releasing that game first.
Yeah.
You have, we know about Battletoads.
We've known about Battletoads.
Yeah. The I don't know why you would put Outer World DLC trailer. or Control on Series X. Like just
Yeah.
remasters, and this is
Yeah.
not really what you want to see.
I think it's cool that the Crisis remastered Series X gameplay to close with seems. I mean, like, I think it's neat that it's going to be there, but we already know that it's being remastered, and that's
this
coming to
can't-
Switch and stuff like that.
And this can't be everything because there's no mention of Halo.
Yeah, there is Halo Infinite story trailer and multiplayer gameplay. It's
way
top there.
way at the top. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would just expect that
That's gotta be
either at the front or at the very end.
Yeah, it can't be stuck in the middle, and I just feel like Sinuous Sacrifice, Hellblade, makes sense to open with because it's their story-driven game. It's their it's going to be one of their game showcases.
Yeah. It's gonna be like, hey, we're doing story, excellent, story, third-person games too. Did we see this print is very small? Did we see the initiative anywhere?
No. But they did talk about Compulsion Games making Contrast too, which I remember playing Contrast. I don't remember it being a scary game.
I don't remember it being a horror game.
It had like noir, weird looks to it, but
that was the one where you just like use the shadows to.
Yeah.
It was like a puzzle game.
Yeah.
Maybe it's different than what we're thinking of, but that's what I remember of Contrast.
Yeah.
Because that was a PSP or a PS Vita game and early PS4 game.
Yeah. Now we don't know what Tell Me Why and the Medium is. I mean, someone might, but I don't know what those are. So I don't know if one of these could be the initiative. But I think it is strange that nothing says anything about the initiative.
Yeah.
I feel like most of these are pretty safe bets.
Yeah.
I think there has to be at least a couple things either wrong or not included. That's going to make it bigger.
Since you saw the tweet, is it clear that this is like the run of the show, or is this just like some of the beats are playing to be there?
Let me look. Because
I mean they still got to talk about the box itself and maybe the price and the release. Like, I mean, I know they've already done that, but that's really all they have left to talk about. I mean, this could be just their first party games, but it's not because they've included Control and Crisis and a number of games that aren't necessarily first party.
Right. I'm trying to find it.
Well, that's okay. I mean,
regardless, it's super interesting.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what they do. I really want to see what the initiative is going to do.
Yeah.
And
I'm waiting to hear. I'm just waiting to hear stuff about it now that PlayStation finally got their stuff out.
Yeah. I'd be interested to see what this Japanese studio would be.
Yeah.
If they do some kind of, is it Lost Odyssey? Is that an RPG?
I thought Lost Odyssey was a first-person shooter. I don't remember.
I think that was Lost Planet.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm thinking of. I'm thinking of Lost Planet.
I don't know,
but
cool.
And games that we do know exist. Cyberpunk's Nightwire was this week, it was this week. It happened at some point.
Yeah.
So if you're into Cyberpunk, this gave you a really big detail, a really in-depth detail of what that game's going to look like even more. So a few things like your character, if you didn't watch it, basically just revealed more gameplay and story elements, and they showed you one of the mechanics, which is called Brain Dance, which is basically just Batman's detective mode, where or Detroit Become Human, where you like rewind a scene and you're living. They call it Brain Dance because you're basically putting someone else's brain chip in you or something like that to relive a moment in their life. And since your character's kind of a detective or whatever, he's solving crimes, that's what he's doing it for.
Sure.
So that moment in it looked very boring. Like they spent way too much time showing you Brain Dance, and they showed you many different instances, at least 2 different instances. I mean, like, I think the mechanic itself is neat. It's like a really, really in-depth, like, film editor, essentially, what you're doing. But it just felt a little boring to show in this hype trailer. But, so this is going to be, this is the first of many Nightwires. And on the day that the Nightwire was released, they also lifted an embargo for journalists who played 4 hours of the game to talk about their experience. And so Blessing Adeoye Jr. from Kind of Funny Games talked highly about the deep lore, customization, and narrative. And Miranda Sanchez was on IGN's Game Scoop podcast and talked about 3 different character backgrounds, how massive the map is, and referenced several customization options. there's also several people who are criticizing the driving experience in the game, but there's still tons of time as the game was recently delayed until November. So November's looking to be... Actually, I don't really know what else is coming out in November right now.
Probably every launch game.
Yeah, that's true.
It's coming in November, so November's going to be stacked.
And stuff like that. Do you... And we already had this conversation about how you're not, like, in love with Cyberpunk.
I'm curious to see how it goes. I think it's going to be just too deep. They're too much for me, but it might, it might hit at the right time. I don't know.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. Though I do, because it's November and everything else is happening at the same time, I don't know. I feel like it's a game I'm going to have to play, though. Just
sure.
Out of obligation as a person who plays games, and also just because I want to know about it and what it's doing.
And being in November, it might be the best time to pick it up for the next generation of consoles and see how beautiful it is.
Especially since it's going... Since last week we talked about how they're transferring it over for free to PlayStation 5. So, same thing with Marvel's Avengers War Table. Did you watch this one?
Yeah, I watched part of this one. Most of the gameplay with Thor and everything. So, Marvel's Avengers also had a special showcase this week with the War Table.
Which is also the first of many events that they're going to be doing.
Yeah, they're going to do many of these as the time goes on. Because did they delay again, or are they still in September?
They're still in September.
Okay. I kind of expect them to delay.
Yeah.
But there's single-player hero missions, as well as overall... Sorry, the camera's in the way. Overarching story that can be played multiplayer.
They talked about... most of the showcase was like Thor's gameplay.
Yeah.
And then they show like sizzle reel of like other people playing, like Kamala Khan's hands getting bigger. I don't actually know her. Huh?
Embiggen.
What did I say?
No, that's her like
name.
No.
Oh, Embiggen.
Embiggen. She embiggins her hand.
Oh. That sounds like something that you shouldn't say out loud.
Yeah, apparently she uses it though.
What kind of things do you embiggen over there? They dove into the menu, and I thought as soon as the menu popped up, it looked exactly like Destiny. Or actually, the way it was set up in the menu reminded me of Assassin's Creed Odyssey, which I didn't play that much of, but it was the same in Origins, where it was just like...
I mean, it had all these sub menu headers, and then you flipped over, you had a character menu where you could swap in and out gear, just like in Destiny.
Yeah.
I thought the gameplay was very much like Destiny.
You thought so?
I thought it was interesting they focused on the Thor gameplay, because they focused on Thor gameplay last time and it looked boring.
Yeah, I thought it looked boring this time.
I thought it looked better this time, but yeah, it did look boring. I think they won it was too much of the same
stuff.
He had like 5 or 6 of these stupid drones he had to go kill, and then there's all these other drones, and then drones here and drones there, and it was just like, okay, but we were on the helicarrier, and it was kind of cool, like saving it from crashing into the city or whatever.
Yeah.
But it felt better, and I thought the characters looked better, more refined this time around. But I did get that sense of like, it's a little dull. I thought it was more cool when they were all working together.
Yeah.
Those are the moments I've been picturing about, like, if this is a Destiny type game in a raid.
Yeah.
What everyone else is doing that's differently to help accomplish the goal.
Kind of the way some of the team-based abilities worked kind of reminded me of what Anthem was supposed to do with theirs, like the way the javelins can team up together and you use your whatever so he can light it up with this. And similarly, like they showed a lot of gameplay where like Thor's lightning will charge up characters around him and boost their shields and stuff like that, which I thought was super cool. I overall felt really meh about it. Nothing so far has said to me, oh, I want to buy that day one. Like, I don't even know if I will, to be honest. It just doesn't really... It doesn't necessarily do anything for me, but maybe when they show more of these war tables, that they'll... something will.
Yeah. I think the character designs are not great, but I think as far as the designs they have, they've improved on.
Yeah. I mean, I knew that, like part of me is like, is it because they don't look like the... movie Avengers, but I don't think that's it. I think they just don't.
I think it's because they look like discount movie Avengers.
Yeah.
They don't look unique enough.
Yeah.
to be like, and they copy like like the same Black Widow outfit and the same Thor outfit, and Thor's doing it like very similar mannerisms, which I know it's a character, but it doesn't feel like they took it far enough to be their own.
Right.
And we got to put it in this real world. And what does the real world look like with these superheroes? And it kind of looks like the Avengers that we see in the MCU.
Yeah.
But they're not.
I did think overall the animation style, or the graphic style, I guess, looked not as good, but in the same world as Spider-Man 2018. I think Spider-Man 2018 looked better all the way around, but I think like I can see Peter Parker from that game like talking to this. I can see a world where they're happening, and I don't know if that's intentional. Who knows?
I really hope they come around to this game, because it'd be really nice to have an Avengers game. But I always knew from the get-go that doing an Avengers game was going to be
very
a tall order. And they made the Tomb Raider games, so it's not like they can't make a video game.
Well, I imagined I remember when they announced that this was going to be a live game, and it was like, really, like, because I imagined it was going to be like this relatively linear story experience, kind of like Spider-Man, and that it would kind of play in terms of how you switch around with the different characters, like in Injustice or something, where like you don't get a choice of who you're playing. The story starts here, and then it's time to take over Black Widow and stuff like that. We'll see what happens. That's not the game we're getting, and that's fine.
They're not dumb over there.
Yeah,
And that doesn't mean they can't make a bad game, but I think they understand they have to knock this out of the park in September. So we will keep up with that as it.
Here I just kind of threw in a couple last things to throw in there. Crash Bandicoot. Crash Bandicoot
Smash
4.
Brandies.
Smash Brandies? No, thank you. Crash Bandicoot 4. It's About Time was announced last week.
It's about time.
I always hate that. Subtitle, because there's a Plants vs. Zombies game that says It's About Time.
Is it?
It's the phone version of it.
Oh.
And I'm like, oh, that's so clever, because the game's about time, and also it's
taking so long to come out.
So it's supposed to be a proper sequel to Crash Bandicoot Warped. And did you watch the trailer or anything?
Yeah, I watched the trailer.
I think it looked like fun.
It looks great.
Yeah. I don't know what to expect. It looks like they've improved on all of it, and then they added new mechanics and stuff like that. I don't know that it will replace the idea of platforming. I think like it's a different game than like Ratchet and Clank. Like they're serving different purposes a little bit. But I didn't feel like I needed to get it though. And I think maybe that's because I haven't played the trilogy yet.
I haven't gone through and played through the trilogy, but I'm excited about it just because it's.
Oh wait, I'm excited to get more Crash game.
I like that they're basically just retconning anything after Warped. They did it very tongue in cheek. How many times have you fought this guy? 3? Really? Has it not been more than that?
Yeah.
And then I think it's cool. The mechanic of switching between characters can happen on the fly.
Yeah.
At any point in the level. Basically, the thought is both Crash and his sister are always there.
Oh yeah.
So like at any point in the level, you can swap between Crash and what's her face.
Yeah.
And then at some point you'll get to play as Cortex. So.
Oh yeah. I think it's neat, and I thought it was weird that it's not Vicarious Visions making it. It's Toys for Bob.
Toys for Bob, who did the Spyro trilogy.
So, which I guess this means we'll probably eventually be getting a new Spyro game.
I would imagine.
So, Ghost of Tsushima has gone gold. So, I'm super excited about that. Also, people are playing it right now. We are not one of those people.
Yeah, we are not one of those people.
I was looking at
now we're playing Last of Us, and
we still haven't beaten it. No. Neither of us, but I'm further than Josh.
A little bit.
A lot of it. A little bit. I forgot. But did you see all the tweets with the cover picture? With the menu
Where it changes from being foggy to like being clear.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say it looked like. Yeah. Well, I thought it looked like. And I'm talking about for Ghost of Tsushima.
Oh no! I was talking about the menu.
Oh, yeah, I have seen that, and I'm like, I don't want to see that. No, for Ghost of Tsushima, the picture of people saying they're playing it, it looks a lot like Final Fantasy VII Remix open. It's got the samurai sword and then the menu. Just the way it's dug in. It's good.
It's cool.
So super excited for that, and that's just a couple weeks away. Speaking of The Last of Us 2 sells 4 million copies, which in the PlayStation blog post, they said that it's the fastest selling PlayStation exclusive game. Which is always a weird brag. It's like, we sold this certain amount faster than anyone else. I don't know. Yeah. You can read this article if you want.
So yeah, we're delighted to report that The Last of Us 2 is now the fastest selling first-party PS4 exclusive ever. With more than 4 million copies sold through as of June 21st, which is 3 days after release.
Wow.
Naughty Dog has created the experience that truly transcends the category with The Last of Us Part 2. They have honed their craft for years and once again set a new bar for what is possible through interactive entertainment. The Last of Us Part 2 represents large-scale innovations in gaming with a great blend of excellent gameplay mechanics and masterful storytelling. All of this came together to deliver a generation-defining experience with the fastest-selling first-party PS4 exclusive. Of course, the entire team at Naughty Dog, who made the achievement possible, Neil Druckmann, Vice President of Naughty Dog and Director of The Last of Us Part 2, wanted to share this message with you all. Quote, "We are so immensely grateful to the millions of fans around the world that have played The Last of Us Part 2 and shared their experience with us over the last week. We set out to tell a new kind of story, one that deals with difficult themes and that would challenge you in unexpected ways. Hearing how the experience has resonated with so many of you and witnessing the type of thoughtful discussions it has sparked has been so incredible. We've also been inspired by your creativity, whether it's your gorgeous photo mode shots, jaw-dropping gameplay gifts, or the songs that you've recorded using Ellie's guitar."
That's super cool. That's actually the first thing I thought of when you could start using the guitars. I'm like, what songs do I know the chords to? And I don't.
Apparently, someone's played Through the Fire and Flames.
Really?
I didn't even know that was possible because
you have to switch through the different tab. And
yeah, I don't know how, but apparently someone's done it.
Someone did that one song.
Metallica.
Well, yeah, no.
Every song
is, but the one that was by the guy, not Beautiful. I'm gonna call it the Shrek song. Because it was in the movie Shrek, but...
What, All Star?
No. It's a soft song. The guy died recently, within the last 2 years, and it's a very popular song.
Hallelujah?
Yes.
The Shrek song.
I know.
What is wrong with you?
I know, but it was in that movie, and for some reason that's the first thing that popped in my head. All right, let's move on. Someone did Hallelujah in that game. So
we strive to bring you unique and engaging experiences, and while we look towards the next generation, there are still a lot of great games coming to the PS4, including Iron Man VR on July 3rd and Ghost of Tsushima on July 17th. And that was Eric Lempel, the Senior Vice President, PlayStation Worldwide, on the PlayStation blog.
Yep. And the last big piece of news of this week was that Sony announced they did this an indie presentation, which I don't have on here, but I was about to and then I forgot. But the indie presentation was about they showed off nine. Oh, here it is. Yeah.
This is Shuhei Yoshida.
Yeah.
On the PlayStation blog.
So I was gonna scroll down, that part. The indie community is increasingly important for the future of video game industry as AAA game development has grown so financially demanding that big companies are finding it harder to take risks to invest in new concepts that may or may not work. We trust indie developers with strong visions will continue to bring ideas that have never been tried before, creating whole new genres of games and advancing the art and meaning of video games. PlayStation has always embraced games with completely new concepts like Parappa the Rapper, Katamari Damacy, Little Big Planet, and Journey, and we look forward to seeing what surprising new ideas will come next. Today, alongside the news of PlayStation's Indies initiative, we're happy to debut 9 imaginative and exciting titles coming to both PS4 and PS5. Stay tuned throughout the morning of these reveals. There's a bunch of stuff on Twitter. So, the games are Worms Rumble, which I watched that because we were big Worms fans growing up.
Yeah.
It's a real-time multiplayer game.
Interesting.
It's and they have a battle royale. It's side-scrolling.
Yeah,
which is
the original Worms.
Well, I'm just saying like it's just because they've made it real action. They have real-time action. They haven't changed that perspective. Haven is a chill co-op adventure coming to PS4 and PS5. There's a map game called Carto coming to again, all these are coming to PS4 and PS5. Hacking-themed platformer Recompile, Where the Heart Is, a narrative adventure between truth and fiction. The recursive world simulator, the recursive world simulation and puzzle-making process in Maquette.
I think Maquette. Marquee?
No, but there's no R.
Yeah, but I would say Maquette.
I don't know. Action platformer Fist
Forged in
Shadow Torch coming to PS4. Introducing PlayStation
Indies
and a day of... Oh, that's just... that's what this is. Heavenly Bodies and... What's that last one say? Creeks. So I watched a few of these trailers. The game Haven was specifically about making playing relaxing. It was like there's basically anything that you have to do. It's super easy to do. It's not challenging game. It's kind of
Flower.
It's kind of like Flower, but there's combat and stuff. But it's supposed to be super simple. The other game, Heavenly Bodies, looks a lot of fun. It's basically you are a cosmonaut having to fix a space station, but they've built the physics in the game to like require you to play like you're actually floating through space. So, for example, there's this. He's trying to like use a crowbar or like a wrench rather to like tighten something, but if you're not, basically you have to use the triggers to use arms and legs. But if you're not holding on to the side of the space shuttle or the wall that you're on and doing it, you'll just move yourself. So a really cool physics engine. They said for the PS5 version of the game, they're working with the DualSense to make you feel when stuff falls out of your hand, and the weight of the metal versus steel and softer items. I'm super excited. I think especially because it's not a complex game in terms of it's not big. It's not the immersion for it is going to be super interesting.
Yeah.
So
cool.
Anything else before we wrap up?
You got this. Could be a My Friend Pedro TV series coming from the John Wick creator. That could be really cool.
Yeah. I think it would be. It reminded me of the idea. Reminds me of that one show Happy, where you have the guy who was in the SVU shows. He's a police detective, but he's got an imaginary like dragon who's helping him, voiced by Patton Oswalt, like helping him solve crimes. But it's actually just his like LSD infused dream. That's what this makes me think about happening, because you have a talking banana with you the entire time you play the game.
Right. Okay.
Which I just realized that you've never played it.
No.
But it's really fun. This is so we were originally going to record a few days ago, and we recorded today. So there's some news that I put that I haven't gotten onto the docket. So this one's actually really important. You might want to read that. The Polygon article. So if you want to read this I've been seeing a lot of talk about this on Twitter, but I haven't seen where it's from, and I think this is it.
All right. Here's the first sign. This is from Polygon. Ryan Gilliam. Here's the first sign that next-gen games might get a price hike. NBA 2K21 costs $69.99 on PS5 and Xbox Series X with no free upgrade.
Wow.
NBA 2K publisher 2K Sports revealed a new pricing strategy for NBA 2K21 on Thursday that could indicate a shift in video games prices for the next generation. On September 4th, players can pick up NBA 2K21 on Google Stadia, Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 4, Windows PC, and Xbox One for the typical $59.99. Later in the year, a new version of NBA 2K21 will be released on PlayStation 5 and Series X as a launch title. But 2K Sports won't offer a free upgrade program like many other publishers of cross-generation games. Instead, the company will sell the next-gen version separately for $69.99, $10 more than the standard video game price that has been in effect for the last 15 years.
Yeah.
Rather than using the Microsoft Smart Delivery System or whatever Sony is going to end up doing, 2K is going its own way. Those who want to purchase NBA 2K21 on PS4 or Xbox One can keep playing on PS5 or Series X, or respectively, will need to buy the game again.
Well, no, they're saying...
No, you need to buy the NBA 2K21 Mamba Forever Edition for $99.99.
So pay $100 to get both.
Right. The package includes dual access to both current and next-gen versions, allowing the players to upgrade within the PlayStation or Xbox families, in addition to a bunch of other in-game goodies, as it is intended that as a tribute to the memory of Kobe Bryant, who died in a helicopter crash in January and had a long history with the NBA 2K, having appeared on the covers of 2K10 and 2K17.
Yeah. You don't have to read the rest of it.
Yeah.
But so it sparked a conversation on Twitter about the value of a game. So what's the value of a game? And I think I don't love how they're doing their crossover system, but that's neither here nor there. I think the conversation being, are games going to go up $10 this one, and should they, and stuff like that. I think that's a conversation that could be had.
Yeah, I mean it's almost about time. It's about time. For prices to start going up, because it has been $59.99 since the end of the PS2 era.
Right.
So, and inflation has gone up for everything else except video games.
Yeah.
And there's something to be said about it. But on the other hand, things are becoming a lot more digital.
Yeah.
And a lot of the costs involved with selling a game is the manufacturing and the shipping and splitting the revenue with the different retailers and sales tax and all that stuff. So if you can cut out having to manufacture and ship a number of those games, then that $59.99 becomes a different value proposition for the companies. So
that's kind of the thing. It's like if that's a good point to make, because if I don't mind paying more. My wallet does, but personally, it doesn't bother me to pay more because video games are expensive to make, and I get it. And this, if it helps the developers make more games, that's great. But I do think that's a good point. Like, if I get the digital only version of the PlayStation, then I don't know. I think I should. I don't know if I should, but I don't think I deserve. But I think it would be consumer friendly to maintain it at the price it is, and then if you go and buy a physical game, then pay that extra $10.
Yeah.
Which is a class issue.
Yeah.
You can get into all that. There's some stuff to be said, but if you are,
my problem with what's going on here is I have to pay $10 for the same game on a different console. $10 more for the same game on a different console.
Well, you just have to decide which one you want to get it on.
Right.
And I would imagine most people are not going to buy it.
I'm like, why would I pay $70 when I can pay $60 and just play it on their console I already own? And why are you, 2K, being the only ones? We have CD Projekt Red offering the
Cyberpunk
free upgrades to the next gen version. Crystal Dynamics with Marvel's Avengers. EA Sports is going to do it for Madden NFL 21 and FIFA 21. Not to mention just countless other games are going to do this.
Yeah.
Just out of the box. And, isn't that that disc is going to work in the next gen console anyway?
Right.
Like, because it's backwards compatible, especially with at least at the very least on Xbox, it's going to work.
Yeah. So yeah, that makes sense. Like, why would you even buy the version then? Like,
right.
Especially since it's not. I mean, 2K is not like a graphical powerhouse. It's not using every part of it.
I mean, they always look great, and I'm sure the next gen version will look beautiful.
Sure.
But is it going to be $10 more beautiful than?
Yeah.
Just putting my same disc in that one. It's not really $10 because if I want to play it when it releases, if I'm one of those diehard NBA 2K fans, I'm going to buy it and then I'm going to want to play it when I buy my new console. It's not a $10 difference. It's an extra $70.
Well, that's why, like, if you know that's what you're going to do, then you'd get the $99 one, because that's who that's for. People who want to play it.
Sure.
Yeah, I think do whatever you want as a company, but I do think that this is not the most consumer friendly way to play this game.
No.
But I agree with you. Just get the cheaper version. But it's super interesting. I think I don't mind spending $10 more, but I think what developers should just price their game with what they think it's worth. And if I have to pay $100 for The Last of Us, or $30 for Crash Bandicoot, like,
I like there being a standard, but I do think like companies should be able to feel comfortable adjusting that price.
Though I think it'll be a hard sell though, like for one company to decide, we're gonna sell our game for $80, and then another company say, yeah, well, we're gonna sell ours for $40. Like, it'll be a hard sell to consumers that like what the standard is about to change. But
yep, that's interesting. $69.99 for PS5 games. Very possible.
Very possible. Anything else before we go? I did try to do I tried to look at the Metacritic thing that I said I was going to do, but turns out none of the games that came out in the last week that I could see were rated on Metacritic yet. So I think it'll probably be a monthly segment.
Yeah, we'll have to workshop that idea and then
go from there. But thank you for watching this rare in-house rare desk. I don't know what's the word.
In person.
In person. Yeah. Well, they're not in person.
Well, they're not, but we are.
Thank you for watching this rare in-person episode of Ware Gaming News. We will be back with you next week, and we will be separate again.
Yeah, he'll be back in LA, and I'll still be here. But we'll do. We'll probably come back when the Ware Gaming Weekly and news again next week.
We have to talk about The Last of Us at some point.
Yeah,
so
we're
maybe
probably by that point we'll be
done with it. So
it's almost like we're the same person.
But until then,
say goodbye, Nick.
Bye, Nick.